Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Card Advantage podcast. This is episode number 74. It is Saturday, September 17th, 8:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when we are recording this episode. Yes, I know we missed last week. Sorry about that. I had some personal obligations that came up, so unfortunately we could not get together. So we will try to bring you a supersized episode today. We have a ton to talk about, and as always, joined by the best sports card co-host in the business, Mr. Bunk. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. Doing good. Psyched to be back on normal night.
Yeah, back on Saturday night.
Psyched you got all the power back in your voice.
Yes.
You can hate and yell at me with normalcy again.
Yes, I can hate you and be negative to you and abuse you as I normally would. And yes, we're about 85, 90% back as far as my voice. We still got a little hack here and there, but back to our normal Saturday date night, me and you, buddy. So that's good, and we'll drop this hopefully tonight after we're done recording, because tomorrow is football, week 1 in the books. Not going to be talking a whole lot of football today. There's a lot of other drama among some other things, but next week we'll do a supersized buy, sell, hold after weeks 1 and 2. Definitely some week 1 overreactions for the hobby, so we'll see how that changes over the next 7 days. And with that being said, we will lead off with Topps Chrome Drama. We're talking 2022 Topps Chrome product released yesterday, which would be Friday, September 16th. That was correct, right? It released yesterday.
Yes, sir.
One of the biggest baseball products of the year, if not the biggest baseball product of the year, and there seems to be some cards that are missing, and there seems to be some very important cards that are missing. So for those that are unaware, why don't you fill us in as far as specifically what's missing?
Yeah. Well, first look through the checklist. And that includes not just the player checklist, but looking at the inserts and the autograph checklist. There's tons of autos, but the checklist is weak. Even the veteran autos are weak. It's across the board. My initial gut was don't buy any of this crap, and I still did way too much anyway. But there are this year the 5 of the rookies that are in there that with the rookie card logo. So C.J. Abrams, Hunter Green, Spencer Torkelson, Bobby Witt, and Julio Rodriguez are all listed on the checklist as SPs. So take that for what it's worth, because as we know, SPs now in the modern era means still a ton of them, but a lot less than the base.
Yeah.
But what's been happening is I just finished as of 5 minutes ago, because I heard this come up late last night and early today. Not one of those 5 cards has seemed to be pulled yet. I've not seen a picture of one. There's not one listed for sale, and there's not one that is sold yet. And you can imagine the total number of products ripped on release day and today. You would imagine we'd have to see at least a few of them,
And
or a handful of them.
For clarification, it's Riley Green, correct? Not Hunter Green?
Oh, my bad. Did I say Hunter Green?
You said Hunter Green.
I can confirm that for you right now, because I got the beat checklist right in front of me. No, it's Hunter Green.
Are we talking about the Detroit Tigers player?
No, Detroit Tigers player. I'll go to their checklist now, but the SP is Hunter Green of the Reds. On the Detroit Tiger checklist, the only SP on the Detroit Tiger checklist is Spencer Torkelson. Riley Green came up too late, and they didn't put him in the product.
Got it. Okay.
Remember, he had the broken foot. He would have broke with he would have broke north after spring training, but he was hurt. So
okay, just clarifying. I wasn't sure if it was we had Hunter Green come up in a previous group chat, so I wasn't sure if you were referring to there was an accidental slip.
No.
So yes, so there's been a ton of product ripped. Nobody has reported seeing or pulling any of those 5 cards, which leads to believe that those cards are not in the product. And I believe there was something similar last year, correct me if I'm wrong, with Kellenic, where the initial wave, I guess you could say, of the first round of stuff, Kellenic was on the checklist, but not actually in the product. And then I believe Topps slammed another wave through however long after the first one came out to get him in the product. Is that accurate as far as what happened last year?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. That does sound very, very familiar. And it sounds like you've heard it in passing in the last 24 hours.
I
So
did watch. I did watch a
yeah,
video before we got on this podcast to do
yeah.
my
So
research.
it definitely sounds familiar. So I that doesn't shock me. But I mean, this is bad. So especially in Breakerland, you're looking at people are all over grabbing these teams because they're hoping to flip, pull one of these cards and flip it immediately. And the prices for the Rangers and Mariners, as you can imagine, especially with Witt and J-Rod, are through the roof.
Yeah.
And they're through the roof. You're paying, and even though it's a flyer and a lottery ticket, you're paying for the chance to get one of these cards because they don't have a base version. You're hoping you bought enough PYTs and maybe you get lucky and at least justify what you're spending on the team to nail one of these short prints. And they're just not there. So, I mean, that's just a massive problem.
Yes. So I guess the question then becomes, so I have two questions. Do we know if this is Fanatics' first actual participation in a Topps product, or was this already set up and ready to roll before Fanatics took over and it's just being pushed out the door? I'd be really curious. I don't know if you know the answer to that, but I'd really be curious to know that, whether or not they had anything to do with this, or whether or not the previous Topps ownership had already had this printed and ready to roll.
Yeah, I mean, usually this stuff is like months in advance taken care of. So I'd have to believe Fanatics would not. I mean, Fanatics is, I believe you can buy it on the site, but that certainly doesn't mean anything.
I mean, and then my other question becomes, what's the possible make good here? As far as like, okay,
there isn't.
Yeah,
there's nothing you could do. They're not going to do anything here. I mean, what are they going to do? It's not a situation where they can say, save your UPC and receipt, and somehow that's just not going to happen.
So basically, people are fucked.
Yeah, you spent big money for something that wasn't there.
And just out of curiosity, do we know what are the hobby boxes going for, and do we know what the break spots are going for as far as like Rangers and Mariners?
I mean, I can look that up for you. I mean, right now I'm on Fanatics right now, and I can get a box for $300.
Okay,
so and that's just a hobby box. The jumbo, so that's 2 autos. The jumbo boxes have 5 autos. They usually go for a bunch more, but I don't see any jumbos here. But let's take a look at some of these PYT prices because they're high. And especially, I don't know where people go and get their breaks. A lot of people just exclusively use eBay for their breaks. So you get a better run on, full case breaks, multiple case breaks, as opposed to just the 3 boxers and, the smaller things. So those things have got to be through the roof for a whole case.
So I'm looking on eBay right now. So it's the SP non-autos that aren't there, correct? Because there's a whole bunch of autos already on eBay. But
correct. The autos are there,
yeah.
and people are getting crap for that too because the autos just look sloppy. The pictures are lazy. They're not even. They're just so bad. All right, so I'm looking right now. I got a Mariners 6 box, so half a case. Mariners are going for 191 a couple times here, 180. In a jumbo half case, so a jumbo case is 8 boxes, so a 4-box jumbo of the Mariners. So lots of auto, you got the auto chances. That went for 360. A full case went for 456. So these are big PYT prices here, and there's a good shot you're not pulling a J-Rod or nose. Actually, we know you're not unless you get the auto.
Yeah, I'm looking. There looks to be a case break for the Rangers for $227.50 on eBay that closed on the 15th.
Why are you looking at the Rangers?
Isn't that where Bobby Witt or the Royals? I mean, not.
Yeah, the Royal.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, so you got a full case of the Royals, also $184. Half case, 108. Full case, 261. So big prices here. I mean, listen. I mean, I guess people brush it off and say, "Hey, at least I had a shot at the autos," but I don't know.
You gotta be curious as far as once the word gets out and gets around whether or not you're going to be able to sell spots to this anymore. Like, or people are just going to sit and wait to see what Topps does. As far as I'm concerned, those are your five. I mean, other than the autos, those are the five cards that you actually have a much better shot of getting that you can turn around and potentially flip and get at least most of what you paid to get in the break, back. I
I
mean,
would say at least on Witt and J Rod. I don't know about the other ones, but
you get something out of the other guys. Torkelson will get
yeah,
you. Torkelson will get you something. I
yeah,
mean, his stuff at least before the season started, his stuff that stuff sold pretty high.
yeah. It doesn't help when you can't hit above the Mendoza line, though.
No, he did not hit his weight this year.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you're right. So if people actually do in fact sit back, because I still think the auto hype is real. People still try to get the autos. Obviously, they sell for more. But yeah, people sit back. The only people stand to lose here are the breakers now, because and those buying other teams. Because for example, if I now can't sell my Royal and Mariner spot, because let's be honest, you bump those up a little higher to help bring down the cost of some of the crappier teams
Yeah,
in any break. And now you might not be able to do that because you might just be having the Mariners and Royals sitting there for a while, and you can't close a break. So now, if you have to lower those prices, your cost didn't change. But if you have to lower the buy it now on the Royals and Mariners to, hit your margins, you're raising the prices on the shitty teams.
yeah.
That sucks too. That's just what's going to happen. It's going to pass along to everyone in some way, because if you can't sell them, it's going to cost more for the other teams.
I mean, once again, I know that the degenerate behavior will prevail here, and people will buy in anyway, and it won't fucking make one bit of difference that once again a manufacturer fucked up and won't be held accountable and won't have any repercussions whatsoever. But
I
this
mean,
is
look,
this.
you could say, listen, Topps could say, it's 5 cards. They have a ton of image variations. They're all out. I've seen most of those out. So the image variations made it into the product, but not
Those
the
are
rookie card SPs.
Yeah, I was gonna say those are the base versions, correct? The image variations.
Yeah, and then Topps Chrome likes to do this dopey thing where there's image variations and then there's parallels of the variation, which is just dumb. Like if I get an image variation, I want it to be, okay, there's one of, that's it, and there's X number of them. Not
Yeah,
that there's a purple version, a refractive version of this version. So
and then there's
I don't know if they did that this year. I hope not. I'm pretty sure they did, because that's just what they do.
yeah, because you have
But
the variation, and then the purple version has 250 of them, and then the refractor version has 250 of them, and so then there's just thousands of the variations.
yeah, in the past, that's what they've done. Yes,
Yeah.
it's annoying. So looking
Well,
at the checklist now, I'm not sure. Unreal.
we shall see.
Well, good news. You can only get the green refractor in retail. So maybe you pull a green refractor, and that's where you'll find the WID SP in a blaster box.
We shall see what happens, as they say. But for now,
Well, but think about it. If that's what happens, you think secondary retail prices are through the roof. If it comes out that that's where they are, what do you think those prices are going to be on a freaking $19.99 box, or what should be a $20 box?
well, then people will once again be killing Target for
That's right.
getting the retail, but I don't think they're going to wind up in retail. It's potentially an oversight of some sort or whatever it is on Topps' part. We'll see come Monday, Tuesday whether or not Fanatics makes an announcement.
I'd imagine we'd have a statement on Monday if we still haven't seen one of those. I'm
Yeah,
sure they're hearing about it already.
as far as I know, I've not seen a statement.
And even if, say, they are actually super, super rare, which would be cool, you'd still think we'd see at least one of them.
Yeah, I mean they've broken up product. There's been enough product that's been broken that something would have shown up. I mean, on eBay, you see nothing.
No, I searched them all. There's nothing there.
Yeah. So, and I just did a quick search for Fanatics and Tops and news announcements, and I have not seen anything. So, see what happens Monday, Tuesday. As I said, we'll keep everybody posted on this as it goes. But once again, it's another oversight, sloppy, whatever you want to call it, on behalf of the manufacturers. And unfortunately, as I said before, I don't think they'll be held accountable in any way whatsoever, and people will continue to buy their products. So it really, at the end of the day, doesn't fucking matter. But
the last two releases, for the first time ever, Topps has sold full cases, not just the boxes of the releases. So I believe you could have bought a case in museum, and I know Topps Chrome cases were on the website, I think, for $3,500.
yeah, I mean that's definitely something else to point out about Fanatics and Topps is it a first sign that they're going to be going direct to consumer, that you can buy full cases on their website directly, and I think they were $100-ish below like DA and Steel City.
Yeah, the distributors. Yes.
Yeah. So it could be a sign of things to come with Topps selling direct to consumer, and they may just continue to lower their prices and force the those guys to lower theirs as well if they want to compete. So we'll see what happens, but
and it could just be a little test run, right? Maybe they're seeing, okay, first time we're putting it online exclusive case through Topps, see how many they sell.
Yeah. I'd be.
You figure anyone breaking or ripping yesterday didn't get their product from the Topps website that way. Like I got the email saying, hey, the cases are live. And that was not even a week ago. Like those cards wouldn't be shipped yet.
No, especially since they said like 10 or 15 days, allowed 10 or 15 days for shipping. But all the people that were ripping yesterday got product through distribution channels.
Yeah. Who knows?
Well, I mean, I personally want to see them sell direct, lower prices, get everything down as we talked about in the past. But, I also, at some point there needs to be some accountability here. And, I will continue to beat this damn drum, and it just isn't there. And it seems to me that it's never going to be there. Like any other industry, in any other, company that that has multiple mistakes with manufacturing over and over and over again, and there always seems to be some accountability. And in this particular space with these companies, Panini and Topps, there's no accountability whatsoever. And it sucks. You should have some sort of recourse. So you spent $300 or $800 on what are the jumbo boxes going for? $750, $800.
Let's see. Hobby Light boxes 100. Hobby boxes are 300. Doesn't look like you can get any jumbos on the site.
I think from what I saw on eBay, they were somewhere in that 750 to 800 range. But whatever it is, if you pay for it and what you pay for isn't in it, you should be able to get some sort of recourse, have something that you can do to get your money back or make good. And it just doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
Well, but I don't think it should either, to be fair. Like it's so if it's that hard of a pull, and it's 5 cards that didn't make it into the first round, and people were expecting a shot at it. I mean, is there really? Do you really deserve? I mean, not that you don't deserve recourse, but
if you buy a scratch off and there's no prizes under the fucking hood, then you should.
But there's other prizes.
Yeah.
I know it's not as advertised. I get it. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Like, they're not going to do anything. But I also think.
So back up a second.
Okay.
Not as advertised. That would be considered false advertising.
But are we being? I mean, again, I'm not minimizing the mistake here, because I think it's a big deal, because these were chase cards. In the grand scheme of things, are people going to be that mad?
I would be.
Or are they just going to use a crutch to, because their box sucked?
Well, does their box suck because those cards weren't in it?
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know. I'm just trying
I
to play
mean
the
the
flip
the,
side.
the S.
Are we overreacting on 5 cards missing? I mean, I think it's a big deal because you said there was a shot at him, and clearly no one's had a shot
I
at him.
mean,
So
and those SP cards, there's still a fair amount of those in the product. I mean, that it's not like it's the autos and they're limited to 100 or 250 or whatever it may be. You know, the SPs, there should be, as far as I know, there should be thousands of those still that are in these products.
between those 5, yeah, I don't know how many they made.
Well, I mean,
It could be 25, it could be 100.
no. I mean, usually with the SPs, I thought there was more. I thought there was like
I mean, in
hundreds of them.
flagship, the base image variations, yeah, there's a lot of them. But I don't know what Topps Chrome had in mind here. This is why I love in the first week when a product comes out and they tout these short prints, and then you see there's 78 up in the first 2 hours. Like, all right, well,
Yeah, and then
not that rare.
Yeah, then there's a lot of them, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. No need to beat the dead horse here. We'll until we get more information.
Yeah, we'll circle back to
We'll
this.
circle back and we'll see what happens. But for right now, public service announcement: be warned that these cards have not surfaced yet, and they don't seem like they're in the product. So if you are buying into breaks or buying boxes, they don't seem to be there. So if they are important to you, then be aware of that before you spend your money.
There you go. That was good, sir.
All right. Next up, let's talk about your lifetime lover and his new sports card venture. And who I'm referring to as far as Bunk's lifetime lover, it's none other than the captain, Mr. Derek Jeter. He seems to be at least lending his name to dipping the toe into Arena Club. And for those that don't know what Arena Club is, why don't you explain what it is, and then we can talk about its merits.
Well, until you sent me that video, their 2 reps being interviewed, I thought it was straight up just a grading company. And then when asked if they were a grading company, they said no. they're not a grading company. I'm like, well, you got cards and slabs with grades on it, but you're not a grading company. So, I mean, what it appears to be, and I'll let you elaborate further, it appears to be it's just another vault marketplace where they're hoping you send all your stuff. And it appears that they're using the grading and this technology and showing you the flaws and this glorification of it. Just seems like a raw card review on crack, and they put it in a slab for you and assign a grade to it, but they're not a grading company.
Well, I would refer to it more as on steroids versus on crack. On crack
Yeah,
could have bad connotations. Yeah, I mean,
now I'm flagged.
It seems that they are using some form of grading technology to grade the cards and show you when they send you back the images of your graded card in addition to the actual slab itself, as far as where the flaws are and justifying the grade. So you get, not only do you get subgrades, but there's also these green laser lines. If there's issues with the centering, if there's issues with the corners, if there's issues with the surface, if there's issues with the edges, they highlight those with these green laser lines when they send you back the report of your cards, which I think is awesome. I think that's one of the few ways that they stand out. Otherwise, I don't think there's a whole lot of redeeming value here that isn't already in the marketplace with an established audience, an established pedigree, an established brand name.
That's. I mean, at what are we? At what point do we say, are we overestimating how big this thing is?
Overestimating how big what thing is?
The industry is. Do we need another vault marketplace? I mean, is it purely just competition, and that's what we're going to ride on here?
Well, in any industry, competition breeds quality, in my opinion. Because if there's always somebody that's out there that's trying to take your spot, that's trying to take your dollars, that's trying to take your customers, it forces you to be better.
Yeah, do it better and potentially do it better for less.
Yes, correct. So, do I have any problems with them, with new competitors popping up? No. As long as they are honest companies that are servicing people in some way, shape, or form. I mean, and don't get me wrong, yes, they're another vault, but I do think the thing that really stood out to me that companies like PSA and BG and Beckett do not do is they don't show you why did this thing get a 9, and that's been a big topic of conversation with PSA lately, as far as we used to get 70% 10s and 30% 9s, and now we're getting 80% 9s and 20% 10s, or and you have no idea. There's no subgrades. There's no half grades. There's nobody that's pointing out anything to you as far as why the card got the grade that it got. So with this, I think it brings something to the table that shows some form of redeeming value, and I think it's very helpful and beneficial to the person that's getting the card graded. With that said, would I send any card that had any kind of value to this company other than to get an initial review, as you had said, before I sent it off to PSA or BGS? No, because the resale value, just like HGA and some of the other 3-letter grading companies out there that don't have a reputation, the resale value is garbage.
Right. And people already had the wool pulled over their head with the HGA AI. They're not going to buy this AI. And if you deep dive the cards with your green lasers, their centering looks atrocious. I mean, I went through a dozen examples of just how is that card given that grade, and it just wasn't good. And especially when it was naked eye, like, oh, that looks terrible, and it's a good grade. And I was like, oh, that looks awful, and I just don't understand where the lines just didn't seem to make sense to me. It almost seemed as if they were allowing some freedom on the design of the card and saying that, okay, because of the shape or the design of this card, it didn't have a distinct center spot. So we took whatever we wanted on the markings of the card and made our own center on it and graded it that way on centering. That's the way it looks to me. And because some of these card designs lately, it doesn't have that distinct.
Well, that's what I was going to say, with
lines top and bottom, left and right.
Yeah, with you have certain cards that have that distinct rectangular border, and that's a no-brainer layup as far as centering is concerned. Cards without a border, how do you judge that?
I think they were taking their own license. I think they were just kind of saying, okay, this is what's considered a good centered card of this product, and that's where they adjust those lines.
Yeah,
that's the impression I got.
Card that the year and card that jumps straight into my head: 2018 Topps Chrome Baseball. There's no border on those cards. There's just a player on the card and a photo background. So it's just like, how do you judge whether or not the card's centered or not?
Right. I can't say I remember 18 Chrome in their examples, but
I mean that's just right off the top of my head. We've bought and graded a ton of 2018 Topps Chrome, so I know that there is no border on those cards. And how do you judge the centering on those cards? Other than, on the back you can a little bit with the stats and whether or not the stats line up with the edges, but on the front of the card, there's no way to judge the centering. As far as whether or not the player's exactly in the middle of the card, that's not accurate.
Yeah. And circling back to your other point, is this just going to become, we grade your card and it's okay, here's the grade, and depending on the card, you can decide if you're going to crack it or not? Because I don't think you can sell Arena 10s or Arena 9.5s and get any, I just don't see it.
Let's take a quick look on good old eBay.
I looked a couple days ago. There isn't one.
There was no.
I don't know if I had to put AC, Arena. I don't know what they go by in terms of. I need an acronym.
Well, go to their website and see if there's anything on the card itself.
Yeah, I don't know if their marketplace was up there. I did sign up though. Really for research, of course.
Jeter. It says there is no initial. There's no 3-letter anything on the card. There's just it just says Arena Club on it.
Yeah, I mean, so I got stuff on the site right now. So what did you want to know? They have their marketplace. Now remember, they're also advertising for their marketplace vault stuff. Send us your not HGAs, but send us your PSAs, your CSGs, your BGSs, and we'll vault them, and you can you sell them on our marketplace. But
So I found there's 7 total cards on eBay right now.
so that means people have taken shipment already, or got them actually graded.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing good here, unfortunately, for us to be able to see like the value. And let me see if there's any completed items. Completed. And no, there's no completed sales of these cards yet on eBay, and there's only 7 of them that are live, and they're all less than $100 as far as what I mean. People that buy it now's on them for less than $100.
I'm trying to find there are some 2018 Topps Chromes up here, and as far as the centering goes, I'm trying to find one that's less than a 9.5.
Well,
Just to see.
the gem rate on the 2018 Topps Chromes were 80 plus percent on some of those. So that's why we bought them and graded them, because the gem rate was so high.
Centering 10. I don't know, Donnie. That doesn't help me. I don't know.
The Otani negative is a card we are very, very familiar with.
Yeah, it is an Otani Prism here. Gem Mint 10 for 1,700. Nice. I don't know where that line aligns with PSA 10, but that's what the ask is.
That card is probably
the Prism
5 times what PSA 10 is asking for. 3 times. Hold on, I'll tell you exactly what that card is going for.
I mean, I'm sure it's the first one up in the marketplace, so like everybody, they're just trying to flex or make you overpay for it, but not a whole heck of a lot up here yet. You got to start somewhere, right?
Well, to put it in perspective, the Topps Chrome Sapphire PSA 10 last sold for $2,100. So
yeah, here I got a PSA 10. The last one was mid-August for $626, and the Arena one's on their marketplace for $1,700.
Yeah, as I said, three. I was close. 3x.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I don't know what to do with this. Like, there's so many other marketplaces out there, so many other vaults out there. I mean, literally, eBay just opened their vault.
Yeah.
PWCC's had their open for a while. I mean, Christ, I even have cards in the PWCC vault.
PSA has a vault now. I mean, between PSA, eBay, and PWCC, it's just like, why would you go anywhere outside those 3? It wouldn't make sense to go anywhere outside those 3. If you want it graded and kept in a vault, you send it to PSA, they'll grade it and then literally put it in a vault for you. Why would I go anywhere else? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, so the one feature that I got to see how it works, but I am a fan of, is with their marketplace and vault stuff. They do say they allow you to trade. It's not just straight buy and sell. So I don't know what the the interface looks like, or the trading dashboard looks like, because I have nothing in a marketplace to even look at that here. But it does say, if it's helping you connect and find cards you want, and you put some select things in there to help get something else, and it's just another avenue to trade with somebody you wouldn't have ever connected with. I mean, that's kind of cool.
So what I'm looking at right now, just to not to jump all over the place, is I'm looking at a card in their marketplace. So for those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can see the laser lines. This makes no sense to me. The card is listed as a centering 8.5.
Which card is it?
So
I can't see your screen.
I'm looking at the CD Lamb Panini. What the fuck is this card?
The cracked ice auto?
Yes, there you go.
Oh, great. All right, great. I had that up before.
Okay, so you go to the centering, it says 8.5. And I would agree with you. You see the 2 laser lines, and based on what I would see, the 2 laser lines that show up show that those both are equidistant from the sides, and I can't tell why this card would be an 8.5 center. unless they're judging the sticker placement.
Well, we'll go to the centering subgrade where it tells you 3367 to the right under the grades,
Oh, the
and
vertical.
highlight the vertical.
Okay.
And
There you go.
when you do that, but see, this is a traditional card where the logo and the names line up. So this would not be the example I'm talking about, where they're using their own personal license where they stick these green lines. But so you can see there with the lines, it looks pretty crappy.
Yeah, I guess if that's the way you're going to judge it, top to bottom, whether or not the Panini logo and the text at the bottom is centered similar to a rectangular border card, then yes. I mean, because the horizontal is 50-50 and the vertical is 3367. So, if the horizontal centering is perfect and then the vertical is 3367, does that takes 1.5 points off the grade? I mean, everything seems very arbitrary here.
Yeah. And on the back, it's got which is always shocking to me when you have such a big discrepancy on the front, but then all of a sudden the back's a little better. But, same thing on the back. Horizontal says 50-50 and the vertical is 40-67.
Yeah.
Which I guess isn't so far off from the front grade, but it's a neat little concept, that's for sure.
I agree. Like, if PSA did something like this, I think every other card, I honestly think every other card company would be out of business.
And do you have that screen still up for everybody?
Yeah, I do.
So for example, you can click on the edges, the corners, and the surface, and you get information.
It shows you where in the edges that there is issues.
Yeah, so if you go to the edges, the where it says moderate, it highlights to you the sections where there was a little bit of an issue. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But again, from a value perspective, okay, so I have this card, it's still graded, it's still an arena slab. Granted, I know why it got what it got. But if anything, this may hurt people from buying because now I know exactly what's wrong with it. I know exactly where I can't send it to regrade, even if I wanted to regrade it.
I mean,
it's almost too much info, but I do appreciate all the extra info here.
It's interesting as far as with everything going on with PSA and the 9s and the 10s, as far as everything coming back, 9s, it seems, whether or not if you have a card that's worth it, whether or not you send it to these guys and get this report back and decide whether or not you have something you can potentially send to PSA, as far as is it worth the $35? Because
essentially what it'll do, it's going to be the glow. So what people do now, we've talked about this. If you think it's a bona fide 10, it's going to PSA without going to Arena Club. And if you're not sure, those individuals say, okay, I'll send it to Beckett because maybe I'll get a 9.5 on it. But in this case, you're paying for
it seems like there's a lot of people that think that they got slam dunk 10s with PSA and it comes back
and they're
9.
Getting crushed. Yeah.
And that's
I mean, for me, it'd have to be a pretty expensive card. I mean, you're not just doing this on $100 cards, $200 cards.
But if I had a $500 raw card that PSA 10 is going to be worth $3 to $4K plus, and the PSA 9 is going to be basically the same $500, I would potentially spend the $35. And also we don't know what their turnaround time is because it doesn't say on the website what their turnaround time is. It just says $35 to get grade in return, but it doesn't say what that is.
Right. Yeah, I think it's $25 if you have it graded and put into the vault, and it's $35 if you have it graded and sent back to you.
Here we go.
I also read, just as another point, if you want to take a card out of the vault, it's $25 per card.
So if you go to their FAQs, it says their turnaround time is 30 business days from when we begin processing your order. Grade and vault orders will be revealed in your showroom in 30 business days. Grade and return orders will be shipped in 30 business days. So that's not bad. I mean, but 30 business days breaks down to what?
A month and a half.
Month and a half, yeah. So that's still 4 to 6 weeks. That's for a card company that grading company that doesn't have a ton of business. That's a long time. But I don't know,
right. And if it's 30 days, we got to wait another couple weeks before a bunch of this stuff really starts popping up.
Yeah.
on the marketplace or it gets returned and people put it up online to really make a, any kind of decision on what kind of value people are holding in this
Yeah,
or in their grades.
they definitely launched less than 4 to 6 weeks ago. So if that's the turnaround time, then yeah, that's going another couple weeks is when we'll start to see stuff on eBay.
But yeah, to your point, you got a card that's questionable, and for $35, if you can get some confirmation that you feel better about the 10 going to PSA than not, based on the report you get from them, then I mean, I guess you still got to open it, you still got to get it back, you got to crack it open. You're risking damaging every time, but I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
at the same
I'm
time,
just having a problem finding the value here.
I don't know. For me, if it's like, just looking at some of the cards in the marketplace, and you look at, let's see if we can find, like, so I just clicked on a Panini Revolution Zion Auto, and you look at I don't know, I personally, I just love the transparency as far as them showing you why the card got what it got. This doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah, but again, no one's going to give a crap if it doesn't sell for more because of the extra detail.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm more talking about using it as a. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they. I think you may have an option in the vault not to show the flaws of the card. Oh, never mind. This is a BGS card. Duh. That's why it's not coming up. I was like, why can't I see
that'd be hysterical.
I was like, why can't I see the lasers on this one? But that is because it was not that. Let me see if I can find another card. All right, so here we go. Here's a 9. Yeah, I mean, yeah, me personally, I love the transparency. I think it's fantastic as far as just, it shows you where the flaws are. And, if I don't know. I mean, even in the surface, I didn't, this is the first time I've ever seen the surface, but they literally put a square, blinking, laser green box around the surface issues.
Right.
I find that freaking fantastic. And
yeah, again, it depends what your goals are here. But if your goals of grading is to immediate resale, I'm still not convinced that you might use this.
If your goals are immediate resale, then yes, you have to send it somewhere else. Because, if you're not going to get this back for 4 to 6 weeks, and then you have to send it off to PSA, and you're not going to get that back for another month, then yes, you're talking 2 months plus to get something back. But if you have time, it may be worth the $35, as far as just deciding whether or not, you sell it PSA, whether or not you have it slabbed by PSA, or whether or not you spend the $35, and if it doesn't get what you want it to, then you just resell it raw.
I mean, listen, we've seen other cracked slabs that have some pretty awful subgrades and still come back a PSA 10. Like, we've seen it. People post pictures of it and stuff. But I don't know. If Arena tells you it's got these things, you almost want to see mostly 10s and 9.5s. I mean, if you don't get all 10s and 9.5s, then
I'm not sending it to PSA.
And that's it. So now it's in the Arena slab, and you're just going to take that back. And
it just depends on what I need to do with it. Either I sell it in the Arena slab, or I crack it open and sell it raw. Yeah. I mean, it just depends.
I don't think anything in Arena slab is going to command any extra premium whatsoever.
No.
But listen, if the marketplace and the trading and just to have a cool place to store your cards and maybe connect with other people, that's great. I don't put much stock in the grading stuff.
No, and
unfortunately, but it is kind of cool.
I mean, and honestly, I don't think unless Jeter himself gets out and acts as a true mouthpiece for this company, that they're gonna last very long.
Right.
Jeter is involved. There's things posted on Arena Club's social media channels as far as Jeter's investment in it. But I think that unless they get him specifically to be talking about it and have those sound bites for their social media and pushing it into the ads and saying how great this is, and have some sort of promotion or other things tied to him that give people comfort that he's behind it fully, I think they're dead in 12 to 24 months.
Yeah, because listen, you're third, fourth, you're fifth in line here of a vault marketplace. And I'm not so sure that your green laser lines is what elevates you to surpass any of the existing entities.
Well,
like all your big dogs are in one of those already. So what are you bringing to the table to have people pull out of PWCC and not use the eBay vault? And
not even the vault. The vault isn't even a consideration here. Even the marketplace isn't even a consideration as far as.
You don't think they're surviving more on the marketplace stuff? You think they're Arena is relying on volume for their grading?
Why would you ever send anything to them for vault or marketplace? Why? There's no reason to. There's zero.
I don't disagree. I just from their standpoint of I don't know how they think with that grading that I don't know. See, for me, I'm always preaching. I care about what's actually in the card. I want the grade to be accurate. So this would be the perfect example of that. But with that being said, I need to see that people are going to accept it as a thing, and I'm not so sure it's going to be.
And that's what I'm saying. The only redeeming factor of this company is the green laser lines. That's it. That's the only thing that it's the only thing that they're doing different than anybody else on the market right now. Nobody else
and showing you all the other
showing you. I mean, because also when I go to buy the card, I can now see exactly where the faults are of this card. So if it's a 8, 5, 9, 8, whatever, I can see exactly where the faults are of this card.
So and just call it the arbitrage club.
It's transparency, not necessarily arbitrage. As far as if you want to talk about full transparency, as far as why the graders put the grade on the card that they did, there is full transparency with these guys. That's the redeeming factor, in my opinion, for Arena Club, and that is it. Marketplace, vault doesn't even come close to comparing to the other companies that are out there as far as the name behind it, the size of the audience, the value that you're going to get. It's not even in the same conversation.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, if what they're doing is that good, they should crush everybody.
Well, the question becomes, does PSA have something similar with Genamint or the name? Yeah, I think that's the name of the company they bought.
Yep.
That they will eventually roll out. Because if Arena Club has it and has the technology to do it, it's just a question of whether or not PSA will eventually roll something out that's similar that they can do at scale. Because that's my question. Right now, you have dozens of cards that go to Arena Club, and you have millions of cards.
Dozens.
You have millions of cards that go to PSA. So the question is, when is PSA going to be ready to roll something like this out at scale? And when they do, just fucking clear the way of everybody else, because there's no other reason. I mean, there's very little reason to send your cards to anybody other than BGS or SGC at that point.
Yeah, period. And that's why I think it's going to be so hard for them to gain traction. I think people are going to be so worried that they aren't a thing.
Yeah.
Even if they really love it. You know what I mean? Like,
it was the same thing when HGA came out. HGA had their own little gimmick. PSA was shut down, so they got some traction.
That's the X factor there. Everything else was closed, so they looked even more glorious at the time.
Yeah, and now since everyone's is open
right now.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So you got to figure that PSA has something similar to this in the works. I'd love to know whether or not that's the case, but I have to figure that they do. And as I said, as soon as that rolls out, and if it becomes a thing with all the other companies, these guys are gone. I mean, you're out of business, and dozens goes to zero. So we'll see, but for me, that's the only redeeming factor to them as far as why I'd ever send them a card. It would be strictly to get their evaluation and show me what they're seeing from a graders or grading standpoint and point out flaws that maybe I don't see.
Well, we have some cards laying around here, sir. We might have to pick one out and just go through the process so we can report on it.
Yeah, go for it, dude. I'm happy to do that as long as it's not. I don't know what we got for raw cards of any value. Do we have raw cards of any value?
That's questionable, but we have some raw. They were nice 6 to 8 months ago.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll discuss
what we'll take a look and we'll have a little conversation,
we'll
but
discuss.
Just to go through the process, just to see.
All right. Well, we'll discuss what those are off air because I don't remember what they are, so we'll figure it out. But yeah, I'll throw the $35 in and see what's there.
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right.
I'm signed up. I'm a member. They spam me with email. Might as well check them out.
Maybe we'll get you a chance to meet your boyfriend.
Yeah, probably not. That's what they should do. Win a chance to have dinner with Derek Jeter. Send us 100 cards.
And you probably would.
Put them on the map.
Yeah, as I said, and you probably would send them 100 cards for a chance to have dinner with Derek Jeter.
100's pushing it, but. All right, guy. What we got? That's enough on Arena Club.
Let's close it out. This is going to be pure speculation. So here's the disclaimer before.
Oh boy.
Before we start
speculation.
Before we start talking about this last topic, here's your disclaimer. This is pure speculation as of now. There's only one source reporting this as fact, but there seems to be a whole lot of smoke, so we'll talk about it. And that is the rumor that Fanatics is buying Panini. It'd be the rumor would be Panini US. So basically, the Panini US has the licenses for football and basketball, and that's it. So that's the aspect of what would be purchased. Panini Europe, or whatever the hell they're called, would probably hold on to their soccer products, F1 products, and a few other things. But this would be purely a play for basketball and football. And then also the other rumor tied to this as well is that Luber is out at Fanatics. This isn't the first time that rumor has surfaced. So this would be, a second time. This has been reported by Sports Card Radio. He has a fairly decent sized YouTube channel and social following. And, he has definitely been tooting his own horn that he has his inside sources, and you all just wait and I'll show you, and that I'm right, and everybody that's said that he's wrong, et cetera, et cetera. So, but there are some other people talking about the rumors, some other prominent podcasts that are addressing the rumors and saying that they have some of their own sources that they're hearing the same rumblings. So there seems to be a lot of smoke here. As far as that's concerned, we just don't know when, if, or how. But should this happen, obviously, do you feel that Fanatics having a single stranglehold over the three major sports in the hobby is good?
So it goes back to your competition thing. But the flip side of that is, do you want, how do you look at it? Do you want a whole bunch of crappy companies pumping cards out, or do you want maybe a good structured single company pumping the cards out?
Well,
everyone keeps referring to it as the upcoming monopoly, but I'm not convinced it might be all that bad.
The caveat there is the word good. Good company, and it remains to be seen whether or not Fanatics is good. Like, we have not seen their first official, other than Zero Cool and, the V Friends and Stranger Things and Jackass cards that they released, we haven't seen their actual first real sports card release.
But grabbing Panini doesn't give them the rights yet, does it?
Yes, it would.
So Fanatics can instantly produce logo products for the things they don't know.
Same as baseball. They bought Topps.
So is that the play here? Is the
That
play
it's
now
100%
we
the
can
play.
pump out logos on everything?
It's
Or is it because
100.
Panini's trying their damnedest to run the company into the ground and they're trying to get in there before that?
I think your play is both, but the overall play is 100% the licenses for football and basketball, so we don't have to wait until 2026.
I mean, that would be cool.
That
And,
is.
and certainly there's football, not so much baseball, but the football and basketball folks are going to be absolutely thrilled
Oh
if
yeah,
that's the case. And you can have 2023 Topps Chrome football.
yeah, it's going to be Boner Jam City for Topps Chrome football and basketball. As far as the old school sports card collector purists that get their Topps Chrome basketball and football back. I mean, those products would be through the roof as far as their first release goes. As soon as their re-release comes back, I mean, it will be obscene as far as what some of that stuff sells for. But yeah, that's the only reason why they would be getting in now, is to get those licenses and also get Panini the fuck out of here before literally they ruin everything. I mean, we are on a collision course. Can you imagine we get 2 or 3 more years of Panini making football and basketball cards, as far as the print quality and the amount of parallels and some of this other stuff that can
never getting redemption ever.
Yeah, no redemptions. Like another 2 to 3 years of this, Select will have 7,800 freaking different parallels in it, and an entire zoo full of animals. And so Monopoly or not, I want to see anybody come in and buy Panini and get them out of here, because their time with the company, their time being able to make money off football and basketball is limited, and they know it. And now it just becomes a race to how much money and how much can we print in the next 3 years before we lose the opportunity to do so. And they will squeeze every cent that they possibly can out of it and run it into the ground, because after it's over, they don't care. They don't care whether or not, Prism football with no logo sells for $300 a box. They don't care.
Has anything been since added to the Panini release calendar after October? Because that's the big rumor. These products, as I mentioned before, they're done months and months and months in advance. So if you're telling me Panini has nothing on the release calendar after October, I mean, there's got to be a deal in place already, no?
I'm going to Steel City right now.
I mean, I get the whole, they're printing issues and stuff.
So there's World Cup, which doesn't count because that's not
doesn't fall under them, right?
National Treasures Collegiate Football, which also I don't think falls under this deal, because collegiate, they have their own deal with college and college logos.
And I haven't heard that mentioned once as part of a license takeover.
Panini Baseball, Topps, Panini Prism WNBA, which also wouldn't be in this.
Yeah, is there any football or basketball after?
I'm looking, guy. Keep your fucking pants on.
After October, yeah. I mean, there wasn't. I mean, the answer is no, there wasn't as of 3 days ago.
As of now, Steel City has Panini certified football listed on October 14th, but it says notify when available. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, so maybe that was a potential release earlier in the year that they knew about, but
they also have Panini Spectra basketball for October 19th, which you can pre-order.
Okay. Where are you looking? Are you looking on
Steel City's release? I'm on Steel City's release calendar.
Right, but you're looking at a marketplace calendar.
What do you mean by a marketplace calendar?
Like, I'm gonna go. Yeah, so this is brand new.
October 26th, Panini Select Basketball.
Holy Christ. There's a 2022 Panini 3 and 2 baseball coming out.
I don't know what that means.
3 and 2, like the count?
Yeah, I know what that means. I don't know what is that.
It's a brand new product. I'm just pointing it out. Yeah, Select Basketball 26. So, yeah, this is all brand new. So as of a week ago, there was literally nothing from Panini. So the point is, there was literally nothing from October, November, and December on the calendar. Now I know they've been behind with everything, but they still at least gave you some kind of update on stuff. But now there seems to be a bunch of stuff listed after October. There's a lot of people were
I wouldn't
speculating.
necessarily say a bunch. There's 2 or 3 products. That's it. I mean, I just went through the entire month of October. There's, as far as what pertains to football and basketball, there's 2 or 3 products.
Well, there was 0 a week ago.
November collegiate. Okay, so this says as of November 9th, these guys have Mosaic basketball scheduled for November 9th. Who else has a release
And they have
calendar?
black football.
Dave Adams cards. Does David Adams have a release calendar?
I'm not sure. I use the Beckett release calendar, sir. They're not trying to sell me cases of the stuff.
Well, what does Beckett's release calendar say?
What was empty is now has a lot of product in it.
Okay, so there is stuff on Beckett's release calendar as
well.
well.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what I mean. They have a baseball release coming up here in October. Spectra basketball is the 19th.
Yeah, we're just looking at football and basketball.
Select basketball.
This is interesting. You go to Dave and this is completely off topic, but we're gonna jump anyway. You go to Dave and Adams' homepage. There's a $50K bounty for the Jordan base set retro green PMG out of the 2021 Skybox Metal Universe. If you pull this card from a box you purchased from Dave and Adams, we will pay you $50,000 for the card.
Yeah.
Card must be pulled.
I'm sure they found out.
Card must be pulled from a box purchased from Dave and Adams. That's pretty crazy that they're willing to pay a $50K bounty for that card, which has to mean they have some sort of information as far as what that card will resell, or they have somebody lined up that's willing to pay more than $50,000 for that card.
You think it's Nat?
Maybe, but probably not. I didn't get
no, it's not his set, but
yeah, I didn't get the feeling that Nat would go after shit like this. I mean, the original Jordan green PMG 100%, but this stuff, I don't know he'd go after this garbage.
But getting back on topic, the fact that the release calendar was empty was leading to a lot of speculation as to what's going on with Panini and their printing situation, and were they on hold for some reason.
Yeah.
But it appears that they've got stuff up there now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of smoke, and we'll see what happens. I personally hope it happens. I want to see Panini pushed out, get somebody else in that's going to come in and do a better job of quality and redemptions, and
It'll just be the personnel. You mean? I mean, they're going to still average. It's still going to be Panini is the name, no?
Not necessarily.
I mean, Topps is essentially operating independently under Fanatics umbrella, no?
Yes, but Topps is also the name of the product, like Topps Chrome, Topps series. Like, it's the name of the product, and but this, like, I think Prism and National Treasures and some of those others stay.
They'll just survive by set name, not company.
Yeah, I think it'll be Fanatics Prism, not Panini Prism.
And they'll use Spectra, and they'll use
or they'll come up with some sort of other name that they're gonna use, but I don't think it'll still be Panini, because Panini Europe will still exist. So more than likely, I would have to think that they rename, or it'll fall under Fanatics, and then Fanatics will come out with some of their own original stuff. They'll push some of it under Topps, and whatever. But as far as
what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Luber? I mean, this guy. I mean, it's not that what hasn't he done. I mean, what is he expected to have done, even if it's true?
Give me a roadmap. What the fuck are you doing? Like, what is he?
A plan would be nice.
What is he like? Hypothetically speaking, if you had to take a guess, what his annual salary is? $300,000 to $500,000 a year, something in that ballpark.
No idea.
Let's just call it that. And a normal work week, 40 hours. The fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing every day?
Well, what should he be doing?
give me a roadmap. Give me something. Give me some previews as far as what you're working on. I don't care if it's for Zero Cool or for Tops or for whatever it is. Give me something like, hey, this is what we got cooking. Like we're in the lab and we're working on X, we're working on Y, we're working on Z. I mean, he's the chief visionary officer. What other stupid title that he gave himself or they gave him? Show me some vision.
Let's assume it's not his work ethic.
No, I'm not saying he's lazy. I'm just saying, it's just like,
well, that's what I mean. But if he's out, that means somebody's having an issue with what he's getting done.
I currently have an issue with what he's getting done because you're the chief visionary officer and you haven't shown me shit worth of vision, and you've been in this
isn't his hands tied still? Like what can he do,
dude?
Other than show us something in 18 months.
You own Tops. Tops has baseball. What's Tops got cooking for 2023? What are you rolling out for us in 2023? Show me a little fucking peek. Give me a little peek as far as like, hey, here's this new thing that we're rolling out for 2023, or here is something that we're working on for the future of this, or here's the next 3 Zero Cool releases that we're working on and how awesome they are, and this is what we're gonna tie them into. I mean, like, look at...
We haven't seen anything from Zero Cool, have we? Or just nobody cares?
Well, they dropped Stranger Things at National, but that was months ago in July. So far it's been
Jackass,
V-Friends, Jackass, and Stranger Things. But, like, look at Marvel. I know what the fuck Marvel's doing for the next 3 or 4 calendar years as far as the movies that are coming out and what I have to look forward to and what I have to anticipate. I don't necessarily have seen a trailer, but I know that, the next iteration of, the Marvel movie that I'm looking forward to comes out in 2020, January of 2024. So it's like, I have something to look forward to. With this,
get fired up.
I have no idea what I have to look forward to, and what are you doing differently in 2023 with Tops? How are you taking Tops into the future?
All right.
I haven't seen shit. Nothing.
I just asking a question, sir. Like for me as the average collector, just collecting cards and whatever, I don't give a crap who Luber is, but I get it. I'm just curious now. This is round 2 of rumors that he's out, so there's got to be something. I just assumed it was something other than what he's working on.
And that's the thing. I don't know him from a hole in the wall. The only thing I know about him, obviously, is that he is tremendously knowledgeable as far as the hobby is concerned. He's been in the sneaker game, the collectible game, the sports card game for most of his career. Awesome. Nothing but respect for his knowledge about this stuff. And even if his hands were tied, then at least release a fucking statement that says, for the next X amount of time, we can't show you shit because of contractual obligations. And as soon as we can, we got stuff that we're going to fucking blow your mind with. And trust us, we're working on it. And we can't wait to show you what we got when we're contractually allowed to. We haven't even gotten that.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's too busy hanging out with the Backyardigans guy.
Yeah, apparently him and the Backyard Boys are... best buds or whatever it is, but it's just like, you made a huge splash by buying Tops and doing all these things, and it's not like baseball is a schlep in the sports card world. Baseball's pretty freaking big as far as the sports card world is concerned. There's plenty of meat on that bone to do something with, and you just haven't seen anything. And whether or not he deserves to be there or not, I just think that there could be more vocal. Like, I haven't seen an interview with him in however long. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's been in hiding to let stuff blow over or not. But
let what blow over? That he got on freaking Backyard?
Some fallout from the Backyardigans, yeah.
I don't think that's the
Wasn't
case.
he pumping platinum too?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
There was another prominent breaker I thought he did something with.
He hasn't even posted.
That's had issues.
He hasn't even posted anything on Instagram since July 31st at National. That's it. Stranger Things. Zero.
Sleeping, guys, sleeping.
Trading cards are zerocool.com is what's on his profile. But other than one, yeah, nothing. I mean, even when you go to Zero Cool, the only thing that's really on here is freaking V Friends. A Fanatics experience. That's it.
Yeah, nah, we'll see. Rumors are rumors.
Yeah, you go to zerocool.com. Jackass is on the homepage. Nothing about Stranger Things, which you'd think they'd be pushing because it's more relevant than Jackass. Be Friends ain't here anymore. I don't know. It just seems to be. It seems to be half-assed, and you gotta imagine Michael Rubin's not standing for half-assed. So, would it surprise me as far as him being out? No, it would not. And I want to see more. It's like, especially if this is the company that's going to be taking over the basketball and the football licenses, and being the freaking center focal point of the hobby. Do a better fucking job, because as of now, I'm less than impressed as far as what you've done.
I just don't know what they could physically produce for you to show he's doing a good job yet. I just think it's too early. I mean, I get it. Show you something.
Dude, how hard would it be to say we're working on Topps fucking XYZ baseball card release for next year? It's like, hey, this is what's been the Topps lineup for the last however many years, and we're going to be keeping these products because they're freaking staples of the Topps thing. And then here's the innovation that we're going to be bringing to the table, and how we're going to freaking take the hobby into the next generation. I mean, literally.
I mean, again, I still think we're on the. It's too early for that stuff.
Once you be able, why? Why is it too early?
I just
you
from a pure
own Topps. You
putting stuff together. Like you got plans already in place, and then maybe we're still a month or two away from getting all this information.
You own Topps. You own the license to baseball. How many months ago did this happen?
It was a while ago now.
Fanatics buys Topps. January. It was fucking 8 months ago.
Right, and that's about the time it takes to probably put together a plan and roll out a product. Like I don't think we're quite there yet. My guess is if he's still around, you're going to see him hit the ground running early January, New Year, and if you want to see stuff from him, and that's what they want him to do, you'll see it then. But I mean, again, for me, I could care less. Someone's going to come in and do a good job, and it's going to be fine. If it's him, great. If it's not, oh well.
I don't know. I want more. I want to see more. I want to see I don't know. Maybe I'm just too demanding, but I want more. And even
I don't think you're wrong, for the record.
Even the Zero Cool stuff, it's like it's half-assed. Like the website's half-assed. The support of the product's been half-assed.
Yeah, because they're making money hand over fist without working too hard. Why work harder?
Zero Cool Stranger Things. Let's see what's going on with that on eBay. Yeah, there's not even much on eBay.
I'm sure the V stuff's still crushing it.
I doubt it, to be honest with you. Whoever bought those V Friends boxes for astronomical amount of money is probably not particularly happy.
I hope they opened it and sold it. Or sold it then.
Yeah, I mean, some of these Stranger Things singles are selling for $80 to $100, but nothing crazy. I don't know. I just think it could have been handled better, and I want more, and I want to see more from the company that's supposed to be, taking everybody into the future starting in 12 months. If they own all the licenses, if they buy Panini and they own all the licenses by the end of the year, let's say, and going into 2023, you have control of all the major licenses for the hobby. Better do a better job than what you've done in the last 8 months. Give somebody some kind of update. There is no updates. It's like, what the fuck you been doing for the last 8 months?
Damn, guy. I didn't know you were triggered by this.
Not a matter of triggered, man. It's just a matter of like everybody wants to be like, all these people are so great and this and that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's
Listen,
like,
you're not the only one that probably feels that way.
show me what you're fucking working with. You've been sitting around for 8 months doing nothing. Anyway.
Yeah, listen, I sit around, sell sheet comes out, I take a look. Oh, that's pretty cool. When it comes out, it comes out.
Yeah, that's because you collect weird shit that nobody else does. So it's like you don't care about some of the popular products.
Yeah.
All
right.
That's it. I'm done.
Rambling.
Yes, there's been multiple pockets of this show where we fucking rambled. So all right, we're done. Anything else that you want to share with the fine folks for today?
No, guy.
All right, I didn't even give out email. If you have questions you want to hear answered on the show, send us an email.
You remembered.
info@sportscardadvantage.com. And with that said, we're out. Next week, 75th episode. We'll try to do something fun for that. And we'll see you next week. Good luck, week 2, NFL fantasy.